On the beach in Hawaii.
Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. I just want to point out, by the way, Ian, may I see your glass? I showed you in the last segment Ian's pour, which is in this hand, versus my pour, which is in this hand. I know Ian drinks whiskey faster than me, but that's just an example of how much more generous his pour was.
Yeah, see, then, now that it's down to this level, I can hardly smell it.
I can tell it's troubling you. It's troubling you so much. In fact, I think you may have mispronounced the name of the whiskey.
Well, I think Wiki Brian posted on here that it's. How did he say it?
Dalwhinnie?
Dalwhinnie.
Dalwhinnie? We were calling it Dalwhinnie.
Delmar says Winn-Dixie, but I think that's something different.
I think it is. I've been to Winn-Dixie. They don't have any of this. No, I think it probably is Dalwhinnie. That makes sense. Like, and this, again, if our intrepid reviewer has made it this far through the show after we were so repetitive earlier, I'm sure he's going to have a field day with our calling it.
Do you know how super clean the finish is on this?
Really? How clean is the finish on that?
Super clean.
Is it super clean?
It's super clean.
I would go ahead and describe this, what little of it I have left in my cup, as super clean.
It's super clean. That's for you guys, Brian and Jeff, for making that fun. Yes,
and thank you for that. We appreciate it.
All right.
All right. So before we go to our final tasting here, I want to jump back over to a list from liquor.com. It's the best scotch under $100. And I'm just going to go through this list, Ian, and I'd love for you to comment on any of these because you've tasted, I think, more scotch than I have in your lifetime, and you're still tasting scotch, whereas mine is now empty. So I'd like for you to chime in if you know anything about any of these scotches under $100 that have made Liquor.com's best of list. Thank you. You're a true friend.
I'm going to let you have some more of this whiskey,
I appreciate that.
Considering you brought it.
At number one, and boy, I'm going to get crucified on this because I don't know that I'm pronouncing it right. Aberlour Abunda.
We had that on the show.
Aberlour Abunda. We did?
I have that, yeah. We had that on the show.
You had? So remind me what we thought of this whiskey.
That's the cask strength Aberlour.
Yep. Finished in sherry casks.
And I don't know what you thought about it, but it's awesome.
Well, it's a $96 bottle is the retail on it. And I'm going to be honest, I don't remember this one. But we've tried a lot of different things.
Probably a year ago or more, and I remember buying that bottle because I think my brother was in town and we just split it.
I think you need to bring it back on the show and we need to try it again.
I may have actually a little bit left.
Or you could just come over to my house.
We had a scotch tasting with some friends over at another mutual friend's house, and I provided most of the bottles for it, and I think I brought that, and not everybody drank it all.
Interesting.
The 18-year-old Glenmorangie went away pretty quickly.
I bet it did. The next one on this list is an Aberlour 12-year double cask matured. So this is one I don't think you've tried. It's a $51 whiskey, a 12-year double cask matured. At number 3, and I don't know what the numbers mean on this because I think they start over partway through, but at number 3 on this list, the Ardbeg Corryvreckian. Am I saying that right? Corryvreckan.
Wiki Brian has posted
Wiki Brian,
a link.
Please help us.
To Scotch pronunciation.
Oh, see? Thank you, Wiki Brian. Described as a powerful expression of a single malt from one of the best producers in the world. The Ardbeg. Well,
I brought Ardbeg on the show. Remember, it wasn't that particular one. It was the regular Ardbeg, and it's one of the peatiest things known to man.
Was it the 10-year?
Yes.
Okay, because that's on the list next.
Outside of actually just eating peat, like that's already burning. It's
if you could make
much
a peat
the peatiest
soup,
yes.
It would be. Well, the Ardbeg 10-year is on this list too.
It's just on fire. Yes, that's pretty much what it tastes like. It's beautiful.
The bar director at San Francisco's Morad says, in my opinion, there's no scotch on the market that presents more peaty character and smoky backbone all wrapped together with an approachable sweetness for the price. I would dare to put it up against any other one on the market, no matter the cost or age. That's from Joshua Peter Smith. And that's the Ardbeg 10-year. Ardbeg, Ian, you're going to have to help me with this. Say it again?
Eugenol.
Thank you. It's a $76
I've never heard of it.
Aged in bourbon and sherry barrels. Wait a second. How do you
totally delicious.
how do you know how to pronounce it if you've never heard of it? What's your take on that?
So it's kind of like the extreme version.
Mm-hmm.
It's over the top. So if
obviously it's peaty because it's an Ardbeg.
Yes. So like all the Ardbegs are incredibly peaty. If you don't like peat, you're not going to like Ardbeg, but that one is a particular interest in it. And what's funny about Ardbeg is Ardbeg has the ability to make something so incredibly peaty and interesting at the same time. So it's not just peat. There's a lot of other flavors going on in there.
I would say there's not a lot of peatiness to this, but I'm enjoying this single malt more and more.
Yes, agreed.
As we go, it's just getting smoother.
The
and
honey
smoother.
is just
the
crazy.
honey's amazing,
and it finishes.
Yeah,
super clean.
How would you say this finishes, Ian?
Super clean.
Really,
super clean.
Would you describe it as a clean finish?
It's a clean finish.
Yeah, maybe a super clean.
Maybe sometimes when you just use the German word for super, it becomes even more super. So we could call it uber clean.
Mm-hmm. Fortunately, the show's not being repetitive today, and that's a good thing. Ashintoshan, 11-year Bordeaux cask matured, is on this list.
I think
it's
it's
$70.
Oshachan.
Is it really?
Yes.
Say it again.
Oshachan.
See, I've been just pronouncing this all wrong for all this time. Because I have a bottle of this, and not this particular one, but I have a bottle of their, I think it's 12-year, in my bar that's wonderful, that I've got very little of left.
So I think maybe if people...
But that doesn't mean I pronounced it right.
If people were not so intimidated by pronouncing the names of their scotch.
Well, I'll just jump right into it and get it wrong. I'm not afraid to do that. But because I have bad reviews. So, it's okay. I'm all right.
I haven't read any reviews. So
I've read 1/3 of one review. That's all I needed to read. It said that the show was repetitive. It also said, I believe, that the show was repetitive.
Did it say the show was repetitive?
I think it may have said that the show was repetitive.
What are you on now?
At number 7, the Balvenie 14-year Caribbean cask.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
That is a really good. No, this I've had, and it is wonderful. Also, the 14-year Peat Week 2003 vintage at $95 comes in at number 8. It says
I haven't tried that.
Packs a lot of PD punch for a Speyside. It's exciting, they say, to see a distillery shift its entire style for 1 week per year. So I guess this is something they put out as a limited.
Over here we just have Shark Week.
I think we should come up with a new tradition of celebrating Shark Week with a particular spirit. And I'd like to nominate this one, the next one on the list. The Balvenie 12-year Doublewood Anniversary Edition.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
It's a wonderful
So their
thing.
Doublewood comes in 2 iterations. The 12-year is an amazing one. The 14-year Doublewood, 14 or 15. I'm a little curious, a little off on that. Anyway, the 14 or 15 is over $100, so it won't make this list. But both of those Doublewoods are amazing.
Well, the Doublewood 12 comes in at MSRP of $54.
Yeah, and it's outstanding.
I wonder if it's not one of the better $55 bottles you can buy.
It's incredibly complex. Now, the Doublewood refers to the fact that it was aged in 2 separate barrels. One aged in the first one for the most of its finish, and then a final fish. I think in the sherry cask. I can't remember.
The Bruichladdich, the classic laddie.
Hey, you got that one right.
Yeah, I do know how to pronounce Bruichladdich. I don't know them all, but I know
it's
that's
actually Bruichladdich. I just want to say that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Bruichladdich?
Yeah.
So you don't say Bruichladdich?
No.
Wow.
No, in classic Gaelic form, I think
Scottish.
there's 17 letters that you don't pronounce.
I could never be Scottish, and it's for 2 reasons. Number 1, because I can't pronounce the words, and number 2 is because I actually like food that has flavor. How can the Scottish be so good at whiskey and so bad at food? This is something I've always wondered. Yeah, and it's okay to make fun of Scottish. They're not a protected nationality. So
right,
it's okay. So the Bruichladdich, the classic laddie, $65, a gateway into the style of whiskey, they say.
Now, I want to point out, if you want to go out and buy this, it's actually spelled. How's it spelled on there?
Bruichladdich, Laddich.
Yes, which I believe is just Bruichladdich.
Bruichladdich.
Right.
Interesting. Damn you Scottish people for confusing
That's a lot of letters.
How about the Bruichladdich Port Charlotte Islay Barley?
I've seen that. I hadn't tried it.
It's a $67 single malt for a whiskey with such a high peat level of 40 ppm. Does that number mean anything to you?
Per million?
Peat per million? I don't know. It says it's still well balanced, has a wonderful rich flavor, and great depth. Okay. Ian, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this one.
I can see. I don't know what you're looking at, but I can see the string of letters over here.
All right. Can you see it now?
That's Bunnahabhain.
Bunnahabhain. How'd you learn to pronounce these?
I have no idea. I think I just picked that up somewhere. I could be completely wrong.
This is their Eric Nagrain. A bottle originally only available for travel retail. It holds bright, beautiful berry notes and an air of briny salt sea air and lives up to its namesake, which means morning sky. Why they couldn't just say that, I don't know.
Because Bunnahabhain is way more fun to say.
Bunnahabhain, yeah. Am I anywhere close to the correct pronunciation of Eric Nagrain? No, I'm not. I'm not even close. Help me.
I got distracted for a second. Wiki Brian says, "Watch it, Cruz." Wiki Brian is Scottish descent.
Oh, okay. Well, then Brian, you know what I'm talking about. You're brilliant with whiskey. You suck at food. Come on, it's true. Listen, I'm of Irish descent. I know. I understand. You know why God created.
There's a reason. There's a lot of traditional Scottish bars, but not a lot of Scottish restaurants.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. When was the last time you drove into Katy, Texas, and said, "Let's have Scottish tonight. Let's try the Scottish restaurant"? I will say this. Being of Irish descent, I can tell you. You know why God invented whiskey? To keep the Irish from ruling the world.
There you go.
That's what it's all about. All right. So we come now to the Craigellachie. Am I saying that one right? The Craigellachie, 13-year. It's a Speyside single
I have
malt.
no idea on that.
I've seen this one. I've never tasted it, but I've seen this one repeatedly in the stores. So we'll have to get a bottle of that and taste it soon. The Glenfarclas 105 cask strength Highland single malt Scotch whiskey is in at number 14. Glenfarclas. I can't be way off on that pronunciation. Here we go. I know how to say Glenfiddich. Glenfiddich 18-year comes in at number 15. It's a $94.
And that's delicious.
And it is. How about the Glenlivet French Oak Finish at $70?
Absolutely.
It says it's a solid Scotch without scaring people away who think Scotch only means smoke. And now, the Holy Grail. Well, I don't know if it's the Holy Grail, but I sure like it. The La Santa from Glenmorangie.
In an under $100 bottle, it's hard to beat that.
It's
La Santa is always on my shelf. That is so good.
Yeah, it's a sherry cask finish. Mm-hmm. It's just delicious, and it's $64 MSRP.
Yeah, and it's always available, and it's amazing.
Now, I've had this next one as well, and it's unbelievably good. The Glenmorangie Nectar d'Or.
Yep, absolutely.
$80 is the suggested retail on this. And now we get into almost like heavenly territory with the Spios.
Spios.
Say it the way they.
Spios.
Spios. This is a wonderful single malt.
Dr. Bill says it. It starts with a soft sh sound and ends with an S with an SH on the end, so it's like Spios. I can't do it like he
Only
does.
The Scottish
it's pretty amazing,
and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I love the quote on here on the article about the Spios. It says, "It's a brand new release. I had the delight to drink recently. Get this now before everyone knows how good it is."
It's pretty amazing.
It really
and my
is.
bottle is gone. I need to go re-up.
It's probably my favorite thing in the Glenmorangie lineup, and that's saying a lot. Glen Scotia Double Cask, one of three distilleries left in the Campbelltown region. No kidding. You gotta bring that in on the show there, Ian.
I just bought a bottle last week.
Wow, nice. How about Highland Park 15-year?
All the Highland Park is great. If you can get their Distillers Edition, they had a Highland Park Lone Star Edition that was available for a while. That was just amazing.
Nice.
And I don't know that I've had the 15 itself, but you can't go wrong with anything that says Highland Park.
The Highland Park 15-year is a $96 price point. The Highland Park 12-year also makes the list at a $55
They also have one called Dark, Highland Park Dark Dark Beginnings, Dark Origins.
Dark Origins,
yes. Yeah, Dark Origins.
And then there's on this list the Highland Park Valkyrie at $95.
So epic.
And it says here for anyone who missed the now discontinued Highland Park Dark Origins,
oh, yeah.
this sherry cask finish always hits the spot. How about the Isle of Jura 7 Wood?
Never had it.
Yeah, Jura is Jura. It says a single malt from 7 different barrels. I'll let you look them up to impress your dinner guests, which truly showcases the ability of a whiskey blender to turn a solid whiskey into a fantastic one. At $56 and on the list, Johnny Walker Double Black.
I have a bottle of that at the house.
The Double Black, really? And what's your take on it?
Smoky.
A smoky Johnny Walker?
Yeah. It's a
Interesting.
very smoky Johnny Walker.
Interesting. I'm sure this one isn't smoky at all. The Lagavulin 16 year.
Right. Nothing smoky about Lagavulin. Yeah, Lagavulin's great as well. I mean, you got to like smoky for that. But what's funny is
it's $90. It's simple and remarkably balanced.
Yes.
And this one will not be smoky at all. The Lefroy Cardius Madeira cask.
Right. Now, I want you to imagine someone takes a large chunk of peat and starts hitting you over the head with it while throwing wine at it.
So that's what this is. Say that again.
We've actually had the Gorgeous on
Gorgeous is how you say it?
Yes, we had, yes. So when you look it up, they say it's pronounced somewhere between Car Chase and Gorgeous.
So Gorgeous.
Gorgeous, yes.
Makes sense.
We actually had that, but mine is a few years older than that and had the yellow label on it.
Okay.
So we've actually had that in here before.
Okay, I love it. How about the Lefroy Select?
I just tried that the other night.
For peat lovers out there, it says this peat beast will rock your socks off.
Yes.
It's a campfire in your mouth.
Imagine having a Kind bar, but it's made entirely of peat. That's kind of what that's like.
I love it. $55
and alcohol.
It's
made entirely of peat and alcohol.
And alcohol, yeah. How about the Lefroy? A lot of Lefroy on this list. Lefroy 10-year cask strength at $86.
That one's on my shelf, too.
Okay, I got to come over to your house more often.
That one's on my shelf.
Macallan 12-year double cask at $60.
Oh, I don't have the double cask.
Oh.
So that's interesting. Okay.
How about the Oban Little Bay at $65?
I've tried it. My brother has a bottle of that. I haven't. I don't have it myself, but I've tried it. It's quite good.
The quote here says, if you're looking for a flavor roller coaster, this is the scotch for you. What does that mean?
Is a smokier rather than peatier. It's interesting.
More smoke, less peat.
Yes. So that's an interesting one.
Signatory Benrenes 1997.
Know nothing about that.
It's a Highland.
I don't even
it's
think
a
I've ever
single malt.
seen it. I've seen Signatory, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
The quote here says, it's one of my all-time favorites, just an incredible bottle. It is extremely smooth, but has a lot to unpack on the palate. What about the Springbank 10-year?
You know, I've seen Springbank, and I haven't tried any of it yet. I need to get in there.
That's on the list. There's a lot of single malts on this list. But in fairness, this is all under $100. Some of them are listed at $99, by the way.
Now, how many of those are there?
We're up to 34 so far.
So you might be spending a lot of money if you just buy every one of these.
Well, yeah. So that's why lists like this are interesting, because someone has done the spending.
But if you do go do that, you're a little nutty, and I want to go hang at your house.
Oh, yeah. I totally want to be invited over. Yeah. For sure. Talisker Distiller's Edition at $90. Few whiskeys can match this bottle, it says, on a price-to-quality ratio. Hey,
somebody stole our...
Peter Q.
Hey,
we're
writing them a letter right now.
Watchoutliquor.com. We got you. I have a bottle of this in my bar, the Tamdu 10-year.
Did you bring that in one?
It's quite good,
you brought
yes.
it in here, right?
It's the only distillery aging its juice exclusively in ex-sherry barrels. This is actually a really, really good single malt. I enjoy it very much. And that's the last one on the list at 35. So there were 35 total single malts on that list. Yeah, I enjoyed mispronouncing my way through that. I thought it was a wonderful journey. And so I love having a list like this, and I will post this in the show notes, the link to this list, because I think it's fun to go through it and go, okay, which of these do I want to try? Because I'm still a fan of single malts. I know, I get into interesting discussions with our friend Chris Hart, who nobody cares about.
Nobody cares about that guy.
But I get into interesting discussions with him about bourbon versus single malts. And, he has much better whiskey palate than I do. But I'm like, I can't let go of these single malts. Like, this is There's just too much great stuff.
I just want to put forth the argument to both of you guys.
Yeah?
Whiskey good.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
This is
fight with that.
An adaptation of your earlier proclamation.
Beer
I like
good.
it. I like it.
Yeah, you can actually see the development of those two phrases. You can see how one led me to the other.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a journey.
You know, these are the things that happen, by the way, on a show where we thought we were going to have a guest, and circumstances beyond our control led to not having a guest. But here we are in the final segment, and it's time for even more Jesus. And I don't mean that I'm going to lay hands on anything.
It's on the beer
Well,
can.
I am going to lay hands on that beer is what I'm going to do. So the guys from Evil Twin Brewing, who we've already, really spent quite a bit of time actually extolling their virtues. They have come up with a bourbon maple syrup barrel aged Imperial Stout called Even More Jesus. And what it means, well, I like that. What it means, apparently, when they say bourbon maple syrup barrel aged, is that it wasn't aged in bourbon barrels. It was
smells
aged
like smoky breakfast.
It was aged in maple syrup barrels, but it was a bourbon infused maple syrup.
So it was maple syrup aged in bourbon barrels, and then they took the barrels from the maple syrup that was aged in bourbon barrels, and then
they aged
the beer
in it. Yes, exactly. So and it's an Imperial Stout to boot. So
like I want sausage with this.
yeah,
This
okay.
smells.
Is it like what is that McGriddle? What
look,
is that thing
look
called?
at this.
Oh my God, Ian! This is you. This is you in a bottle right here. That's what that is.
I like this already. This is like.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me pour this on the camera.
Yeah.
This is hilarious. Watch this.
To watch the thickness of the pour. Wait, hold it up. Down.
There we go. Oh wait. Oh,
I don't know which cam. There you go.
On
there
the
you
beer
go.
cam, I'm leaning forward.
On the beer cam. There you go. And now pour. Oh man. Well, I know what to do if I ever get the oil light on
you ever
my
watch?
car.
You ever watch the? What was it called? The Truth Is Out There. What was that show?
Oh, the X-Files.
The X-Files. You know, when
Yes.
the people's eyes
Yes,
filled up with
yes,
black. That's
yes.
what this looks like.
That's what that looks like. Well, I know now what to do if I'm ever the oil light comes on in my car and I have a bottle of this rolling around in the trunk. I will say, Ian, it's interesting because we use a lot of times we use plastic cups on the show, and I'll just show this to camera one there. This is my plastic cup of this beer that Ian has poured. I have not tasted this yet, but Ian, this is the heaviest cup of beer I've ever of this size I've ever held in my hand. That must weigh 5 pounds. This cup of beer
It has a certain density to it.
It certainly does. Wow. So I haven't really gotten into the experimentation.
Like how
phase.
smoky does that smell? Like that's
my
crazy.
God! When you say you want sausage with it, I'm totally down with that.
It smells like smoked barbecue breakfast. It tastes like smoked barbecue breakfast.
And I'm pretty sure it's chunky too. I think this is
all right. So living in Texas,
maybe chunks of sausage.
this
in
right
there.
here literally tastes like something you would use on your brisket. Like it has a meaty, ridiculously smoky craziness to it.
There's not a lot of information on the bottle. It says it is an Imperial Stout aged in bourbon-flavored maple syrup barrels.
Yeah, the maple syrup's there.
Yeah.
I would have this on pancakes.
Oh, yeah. And it says BLIS, bliss, because life is short.
So this is one that Wiki Brian would absolutely love. Like he would love everything about this in many, many, many ways. Him and his Scottish descent.
It also says here that it was produced and bottled for Evil Twin Brewing by Westbrook Brewing in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
Strange.
So this is apparently a bit of a collaboration, but I got to tell you, it's real. Like this is one of the most unique beer experiences I think I've ever had. It is delicious.
It's almost as thick as the maple syrup that it's
Even more Jesus. See, I love even the name. I love it's just like
so. There's a restaurant called Hoover's in Austin, and if you've never eaten there, make it a breakfast stop. Because first off, you can get for breakfast hoe cakes. Are you familiar with what hoe cakes are?
I am not familiar with hoe cakes.
Hoe cakes are pancakes, but basically made out of cornbread batter.
Why are they called hoe cakes?
I don't know, but they're amazing. And this
I know what a Hobart
goes
is.
with that. Now, I say this also because with that same breakfast, you can get a breakfast that has the hoe cakes, and you can get their chicken and dumplings, which comes from their smoked barbecue chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I want that breakfast with this right here.
What a wonderful country we live in. Can I just say that? What a wonderful country we live in. Well, this is delicious. I honestly, it's, and I also I'm going to show my cup to the camera again because I want you to see how the beer has stuck to the rings around the plastic cup there. Really amazing. Ian, where would you put this on your list? Because I know you're a fan of these huge beers, right? These Imperial stouts and the barley wines and the huge porters and stuff. Where would you put this on your list? Like, is this near the top?
This is so good. Now, it's a little one-dimensional in its breakfastness, but it is so good. It's not quite complex enough to be up there with the breakfast stout from Founders.
That's a great beer.
But it has its own charm and quality to it.
Is it good enough
This is not like that. It's different. This is so, like, if you are a fan of maple syrup and smoky meats.
And who's not?
Yeah, I mean, come on. If you're a person, I should have just said.
Right. If you breathe. Is this good enough to make you take back stuff you didn't steal?
Oh, this is getting pretty close. Yeah. This is getting pretty. This is fantastic. Yeah. You are so right. This is the heaviest beer. Like,
I'm talking weight.
Ounce for ounce.
It is ounce for ounce the heaviest beer per ounce I think we've ever.
I just drank a meatloaf just getting from here to here.
But meatloaf can be such a wonderful thing.
Did you?
What?
That's right in front of my face there.
Oh yeah, gotcha. I did that on purpose, by the way. No. Well, what a great way to close out the show because this. I mean, the single malt, the.
We just got started on this. I got like
IPA.
3 more segments in me. Let's go.
Okay, let's rock it. Yeah. We want to say a huge thank you to Mame from the Smoke Cigar Shop and Lounge in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania, in the South Hills, just in the outskirts of Pittsburgh. They are our very first Smokin' and Toastin' recommended shop. We will have more in the weeks to come from all over the United States, and this is exciting. So one of the things I want to encourage you to do is if you are a proprietor of or an employee at or a fan of a particular cigar shop and lounge somewhere, and you would like to see them represented as a Smokin' and Toastin' recommended shop, please let us know about them and who they are. I also wanted to let you know we are really working on smokinandtoastin.com. That website is about to come of age, and that will be the number one thing. You can already go to it, smokinandtoastin.com, no G's, no apostrophes. And it will be the sort of like one-stop shop for all things Smokin' and Toastin'. If you want to see...
Is there a picture of me?
There is a picture of you.
Okay, yeah, go to smokinandtoastin.com.
Yeah, so now you know.
And then take the picture of me and crop out the left side of the picture.
Yeah.
And then use that as the background for your phone. Did I totally make you speechless?
If anybody does that, I will give you some sort of a prize. I'm totally serious. I don't know what it is. I'll figure it out and Want send it to you. So you're gonna have to just send me a picture of that. That would be worth it. I'll send you a cigar from my humidor, something. I want to thank Adam, our producer on the Wheels of Steel, for making the show happen. We have a number of things we throw at him every week, and I appreciate how he is able to navigate them. And I want to thank those of you who are on Facebook Live with us commenting as the show goes by.
Brian commented.
Yeah, what did he say?
He goes, they're cooked on a type of pan, an iron pan called a hoe, so that's why they're called hoe cakes.
Hoe cakes, okay. Mm-hmm. I had other thoughts as to where the name came from.
Well, it's H-O-E. It's not H-O.
Well,
it's different.
Still,
it's different from your day job.
Yeah, I understand. But isn't that how Hobart is spelled? Isn't that H-O-E as well? I don't know. Anyway, I will bid you all a fond week. We have had such a good time on the show this week. Thank you for being a part of it. We do look forward to some of the upcoming shows, and I will just mention to you that scheduled to appear
Scheduled to appear.
That's the way I'm
scheduled.
Scheduled. Yeah, it's kind of like Spiosh. Scheduled to appear on next week's show. Old Humble Distilling will be here. And these guys have been racking up the accolades like nobody's business for their whiskey. So really excited about having them on, and really excited about all of you who enjoy the show every week or once in a great while or however often you enjoy it. We appreciate you. We just enjoy getting together and drinking and talking about
I just
cigars.
want to say thank you for bringing in a beer that has the consistency of a Dairy Queen Blizzard.
Honestly, if you stuck one of those wooden tongue depressor things in this
might be able to
and
put
turned
this
it upside
down,
yeah, I don't think it would fall out. Have a great week, my friends. Thank you for hanging out with us and enjoying smoking and toasting. And Ian, my friend, thank you.
Thank you.
Great show, and have a wonderful week, and cheers.